You bet. Okay. I'm just reading. Would you characterize yourself as a moderate, liberal, or conservative? Opinion of Tea Party. What is your opinion of the Tea Party? Didn't you run as a Republican before?
1 minute. You're gonna give me 1 minute to define myself.
Excuse me. We'll give him more than 1 minute.
Thank you. I did something very unique 2 years ago. I ran Republican, but I ran to the left. Now I think that the whole spectrum is just it's monstrous, it's divisive, and it tries to define people in certain places and say you're all of this or you're all of that. And I did something that was unique in a primary in central and western Kansas. I ran as a moderate. I ran to the left of Congressman Hill's camp, and I almost won without money, without attack ads, without any negativity. I almost won. So I have no disparagement for the Tea Party movement. It was, in its original inception, a good idea. They felt taxed, they felt left behind, and they were right. I mean, they were absolutely right. But it was taken over, and it was co-opted, and it was betrayed. I'm not to the left. I'm not to the right. I'm not really on the spectrum. Everybody has good ideas. The safety net and the idea of a combined sharing society that the left, the liberal will give you, it's a good idea, and it works on some level. On the right, the conservatism, less spending, limited size and scope of government, that's also good. But they get it mixed up. Like the right will say family values, but where do family values originate? I think they originate in the home. You can't mandate family values at the federal level. It's insane. So no party's got it figured out. The Libertarian Party's got some great ideas. It's a lush bed of fertile ideas, but I'm too much of a fan of public schools and roads and bridges and things like that, so I'm going to keep some kind of tax structure. You haven't asked it, but I've been one of the harshest critics of Brownback's tax cuts. I bragged that I was critical of Brownback before it was cool to be critical of Brownback. I have nothing to lose, so to define me is to say I'm trying to cherry pick the best from all the parties, the best from all the ideologies, scrap ideology, and go with some kind of pure idealism. Do what's right by you, the people, and restoring honor and principle. I think that we can go back to a way of self-governance that worked for over 220 years. Thank you.
Would you take just a minute and discuss Citizens United Supreme Court decision for us?
That I can do in 2 seconds. It's an abomination. I like our system, our federal system of governance. I like checks and balances, and I don't disparage what the Supreme Court does. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. In that case, I firmly believe they got it wrong. If I were elected your legislative representative, I would actively push for a 28th Amendment. I would actively push to overturn Citizens United, defining corporations as corporations. They're not people. They don't have a pulse. They can't go to jail. And until someone does go to jail, they're not people. Money is money, and speech is speech. I'll defend speech. I've already defended it. I fought in the first Gulf War. I'll defend speech. But money isn't speech because it's not equally given. It's not equally accessible. I'm running against millions of dollars. That's not speech, friends. That's money. That's paid speech. Not the same thing.
Question?
Thank you. The basic Constitution, the preamble, ends with, or includes in it, all men are created equal. And at the time that was written, men were men. That was it. That was the context. It was men. It wasn't women. It wasn't black men. It wasn't. It was just men. So here's an independent that can speak to that. I think that portion of it needs to be redefined in our Constitution because it's affected everything. Women are taken second, always. Black people are taken third, always. I just want to make that comment and get it up here. So.
No, I can't. I couldn't follow any better than that. I mean, when it was written, the preamble and the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, it was so long ago and it was in a different time. And so for us to judge it by today's point of view, it's hard to do. They did. They negotiated. The compromise was black men were 3/5. They were still considered property on some level. Women didn't have the right to vote for many, many, many years. That's government, folks. It fumbles. It makes mistakes. It has errors in judgment. But in time, and with honorable approach, and with honorable men and women, and blacks and Latinos and humans, we can fix it. We can write it. Now, do we need to rewrite it? We can change the gender in there, and I'm completely fine with that. But my wife will tell you that she's more equal than me, if that makes any sense. No, I agree that we've come a long way, baby. We need to continue to progress. We need to be a better society, and I'm here to say I agree with you 100%.
Thank you, Ellen.
No more? Is that fun?
We don't. And by the way, I would, on a personal note, I regret that we don't have Roger Marshall here. It would be interesting to hear that interchange. We do have one more question.
Oh, great.
Yeah, since you're, let's say you go to Washington, you're elected, and you're an independent, you're going to have to caucus with somebody. Whom do you see yourself more aligned with?
It's a great question. I got that question only a couple hours ago, which is why I was late. I lean toward the limited government philosophy. I do, like I said, I borrow from the progressive movement and the safety net and a lot of progressive concepts. But were I to go to Congress, I would caucus almost certainly with the Republicans, but I wouldn't vote with the Republicans when it wasn't appropriate for my district. That was one of the things that Congressman Hillscamp was famous for saying, that Boehner couldn't hold his voting card. As an independent, there's no one that could hold my voting card. And I will say this, and it may be to my own demise, but if I'm elected, I want to represent you, and if I can better represent you on, say, the House Ag Committee, if I can get on defense, if I can be on the VA committee, if I can get onto committees where I can do some real good and make some positive change, and the Democratic Party offers me a subcommittee chair, I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it, because caucusing with one side, it means that you believe in that and only that, and that's the problem with Washington. It's partisanship. I believe that only someone who can go down the middle and say, I am neither over there or over there. I'm the only person, or the type of person, that would have credibility to bring some Republicans on to good legislation, but also bring some Democrats on for good legislation, because no Republican can convince the Democrats to jump on board, just as no Democrat can convince Republicans. Only someone independent could do that, and that's what I want to do.
So, one quick question. For the people here, is there any place that you anticipate having a debate with the other candidate? And is there a place, someone they could contact to urge that?
Yeah. His name is Roger Marshall. We can say his name. It's not Voldemort.
That guy, yeah.
We have 4 that I know of. I'm aggressively pushing for more, but we'll do Hutchinson in late October. We'll do Abilene in late September. I believe we're going to do Salina sometime in October. And I want to say Garden City also agreed to do a debate that Dr. Marshall's agreed to. So I know that there's been 4 agreed to, and you can go on the website, LaPolice.com. You can email me. I answer all the emails. You can call, but check in with me, and I'll tell you opportunities to see the debates.
Thank you very much. Mr. LaPolice, let's give him a hand. And sorry for that round. We're going to have to, we're trying to make it so we don't extend deep into the evening. So, Rebecca Seaman.